A mood disorder is a mental health classification that health professionals use to broadly describe all types of depression and bipolar disorders. The psychological disorder that was illustrated in my film, Gia, was a mood disorder. The movie focused on a girl who became a model at a young age. She would have mood swings, and commonly when she did, it was from when she didn't get what she wanted. An example was like when she didn't want her mom to leave after she came to stay with her, but her mom said simply that she needed to go home and take care of stuff. And Gia was practically begging her to stay, but then she turned and changed completely and told her mom to get out and just threw her stuff out of the house. In the movie, Gia had 2 or 3 different sides. Sometimes she was very happy and convincing, while other times she was very sad and down. In the beginning of the movie, Gia saw her parents fighting, which probably led to the beginning of her depression. She saw her mother and father unhappy, so she became unhappy. This stress can expose or worsen feelings of sadness or depression, making the feelings harder to manage. Then later on, once she got into the modeling career, she got introduced to drugs and became addicted. With mood disorder, there are many different kinds of ways to see the disorder. The different types of major depression are major depression, dysthymia, bipolar disorder, mood disorder related to another health condition, and substance-induced mood disorder. I could see Gia having bipolar disorder and substance-induced mood disorder. Bipolar disorder or manic depression is depression that includes alternating times of depression and mania. Substance-induced is a depression symptom that develops during or soon after substance use or withdrawal or after exposure to a medication. There are many different symptoms that are related to mood disorders. The 3 main symptoms that cover them all are feeling like your emotions are interfering with your work, relationships, social activities, or other parts of your life, having trouble with drinking or drugs, and having any suicidal thoughts or behaviors. The symptoms that I saw in this movie were drug abuse, relentlessness, anxiety, the feeling of being on top of the world, and flying emotions. Then, after watching the movie, I was able to pick out these symptoms right away. Once Gia got upset, she turned to drugs and went hard on them. I personally would say that this movie was a very believable portrayal of mood disorder. The main causal factors leading to Gia's disorder would be her modeling career. It was a very open place to do drugs, and at one point she even did them with her boss. Gia went through a drug rehab to get clean from her drug addiction and also took some medication. She always blamed getting addicted on her modeling career, so once she got clean, she would take a break from her job, and then each time she went back to her job, she would get back on drugs. I would say that she did the right thing by going to rehab, but she needed to want to stop taking the drugs. Also, she tried when she was taking the medication. Gia had to put forth the effort to come in every day and take the medication to help her. Commonly, people use self-help groups such as Neurotic Anonymous, support groups, and therapy. There are a few times that doctors will actually hand out medicine for depression or anxiety, but if they think it's appropriate, they will. In the long run, Gia's drug addiction had a big role in her life. I think this movie did a good job showing how much drugs harm not only you, but everyone around you. Her bad habit caused her to lose many people who were close to her over and over again. First, it was her mother. Although her mother did not leave her life completely, she had little to do with her. Gia's mom had little to do with her anyway until she became famous. Then once her mom found out that she was famous, she came up to stay with her and helped her out with many things. There was this one time that the mother went to stay with Gia, and when it came time for her to leave, Gia threw a fit. And Gia just changed completely throughout the time of 2 minutes when she was begging her to stay and then kicked her out completely. Later on in the movie then, Gia asks if she can come and stay with her mom because she pretty much has no one in her life anymore. And her mom tells her that she doesn't think it's a good idea because of what happened the last time they stayed together, with Gia changing like that and just kicking her mom out and being disrespectful. The next person Gia lost was Linda, which was her partner. Linda and Gia met when Gia was modeling. They hit it off and went home together, but Linda had a boyfriend. They kind of snuck around until they found out a way they could be together. And Linda broke up with her boyfriend just so she could be with Gia. Towards the end of the movie, then, Gia starts doing drugs again, and Linda finds out. And Linda never liked when she did drugs and knew they were bad for her. And Linda made her choose through either drugs or her, and Gia ended up choosing drugs, so then it costed her the love of her life. Not to mention that she was doing a don't do drugs talk for kids whenever Linda found her doing drugs again. To live with a mood disorder and be addicted to drugs would be very painful and hard. You would have to try to be more cautious with your actions and words. Also, you would have to have a very open mind and willing to do anything that you can do at all possible to fix your problem. And when you have a mood disorder, sometimes you only do see the bad, so you have to be able to accept the bad and then move on and be able to see the good things too. It would also be very erratic. Some days you would feel unstable and not able to understand why you felt a certain way. It would be extremely hard to go to any kind of different events or do anything because at one point you know what you're supposed to be acting like and doing, but your brain doesn't understand sometimes and then just quits and doesn't think about it, and you may end up acting completely inappropriate for the situation you're in. I thought this movie was different. It was not what I was expecting it to be like at all. I thought the mental illness was easy to spot after I did all my research. As stated earlier, the mental illness shown in this movie was mood disorder, which was caused by substance abuse. The symptoms that I picked out of the movie were drug abuse, relentlessness, anxiety, and the feeling of being on top of the world. The producers did a good job at showing how extreme it can be, how it led Gia to death, and that she never learned that they were bad, or that she never could overcome her true addiction. And, excuse me. The producers did do a good job at showing how extreme it can be at times and then how normal it can be at others. It portrays the different symptoms very well.